All right, Peacemaker delivers us the episode "Ignorance is Chris," and it is spelled out what he's ignorant about in the episode. I mean, other than the usual things. Yeah. Okay. It starts out, good enough. Well, they go to Vigilante's house, Adrian, and there's some funny moments there. And of course, because he's nutty and stuff and all this sort of thing. Told his mother that Harcourt was his girlfriend. Oh, man, it's hilarious. And it is. But they have to figure out, they're going to use his little secret hideout. And turns out he's got tons of stuff there. He's been stockpiling cocaine and money. And of course his explanation, he's sitting on just millions of dollars in just the cash alone. But of course also the coke. But of course he's vigilante, so he's just been beating the crap out of and probably killing coke dealers and other criminals and whatnot. And stashing their wares in his basement secret hideout. So, but of course he's Adrian, so he's kind of an idiot about it. But anyway, they wanted to use his doorway to his, his Beanie Baby collection closet or whatever, for the new doorway into the other dimension. And they're able, because, Leota, briefly watched him operate it, but she got a good look at it and it works. And so off they go and they explore, the other dimension. And, but as a result of the door being created, it blows up the piles of cocaine. And so now all of them are covered in cocaine. This becomes significant later on. So they explore the opulent home of the other Peacemaker, now deceased, replaced by their Peacemaker. And they explore it a little here and there, and his silliness ensues. And then, Peacemaker's brother shows up and encounters Harcourt. Now, Harcourt, of course, his brother's dating her, and they're back together, so he's not too surprised to see her, but still kind of befuddled that she's there and all that. She clumsily is able to talk him into giving her, he offers her a ride to Argus, and she's, yeah, okay. So they go, and there's some funny shenanigans there. The rest of them are hiding in the house and all that. Of course, Vigilante, what does he want to do? Well, he wants to go find his doppelganger. And he kept wondering about it, so you kind of wonder, how's that going to go? Who's it going to be? Will he be the complete opposite, or he's far superior to him, more serious, something of that nature, or it's a woman, that kind of thing. Well, he goes to his house. There's a few things he's laughing about it, a little differences here and there. His dad is there with his mom, and I thought it meant his dad's alive in this world like his other dad wasn't, but no, turns out his dad's gay in his world. So in this one, he isn't. Apparently. So he's still with his mother. So he goes to the secret basement hideout, and it's pretty much the same thing that he has. And he meets his doppelganger, who is exactly like him. So they get along just great. But then they reveal something there. So we move on to Argus, and of course Harcourt is basically taken into custody because the dog smells the cocaine on her. So, oh no, she's in trouble. And they're like, what's going on? They all feel bad about it because she's one of their own and all that, but it's, the rules and all that. And, then Peacemaker shows up and he's like, what the hell? And he said he was with the other, Amelia, while she was taking a shower after, and, so he's like, what the hell? He instantly realizes, oh crap, it's my Amelia. So he, he can pull strings. He gets into the room she's being entertained in, and they have it out and all that sort of stuff. Where was I? So the two vigilantes are yucking it up, laughing about all the stuff they share in common, until Adrian mentions that Peacemaker's his best friend. But the alternate Peacemaker absolutely despises him and says he's my arch nemesis. He's one of the main reasons I joined the Sons of Liberty. And of course, we get to the plot point. That's no surprise that the alternate world that Peacemaker thinks is so great because his father and brother are still alive. Plus, he's heralded as a great superhero along with his father and brother. They're the super team, the super trio, and all that. Little did he pay any attention to it, but of course, one thing was obvious in all of the town is that there's only white people around. Yeah. It's a white supremacist version of America. And in spite of what a lot of people think, it's not the America you actually live in. So it's a plot point. We're like, oh, God, I don't know. I'm so sick of this crap. But it is the alternate world. I don't know how far they're going to go with this or what they're going to do. But at some point, Leota decides she just wants to go outside and take a walk. They're trying to figure out what to do. They don't really know. Economist stays in the house. She's walking through the neighborhood, and people are just, they stop and stare at her. Of course, there's, oh my God, a black woman. And they start chasing her down the road. So I don't know what the deal is beyond that, or is, it looks as if the entire country, there are no black people in it. What happened? Well, we get a clue towards the end because Harcourt says, hey, have you noticed there's no people of color, is the line she says. And Peacemaker saying, huh? Because he doesn't notice anything. And then suddenly on one of the desks at Argus, which he's been in there for quite a while, there's an American flag sitting on one of those little bitty flags on a stick, and he unfurls it. And instead of stars in the blue section on the flag, it's a white swastika. So there you go. Apparently, we'd have to conclude that the Nazis won World War II, I guess, is how they'll go with this. And there you have it. That's what's happened in this alternate universe. So no surprise. Can they resist the urge to use that? Yeah. Boy, is no one in the mood for this kind of thing. The episode left to itself by itself, it was sort of okay. It had some funny moments in it. It's already a bust as far as being good as the first season. That's not going to happen. But, it's just going to be sort of the watered down follow-up to the first season. But hopefully they tread carefully on this. But if they're just going to sit there and say MAGA is this and all that, which, what am I saying? They're going to do it, and oh man, there is no mood for this. You introduce the show with that orgy and you say, this is the follow-up to Superman. And what the hell are you thinking? Yeah. I mean, there was nudity and whatnot in the first season, but geez. Oh, man. Speaking of Superman, there's a guest appearance, a surprise guest. Well, not really a big surprise, but surprise appearance in this episode because Rick Flag Sr. Heads over to Bellerive prison in Louisiana, where they keep the supervillains that sometimes get used for the Suicide Squad, and he says, I need to meet him. Oh, who could it be? Well, it's Lex Luthor. Yeah. Nicholas Hoult shows up. They did the scene, and this is probably going to result in Lex Luthor escaping prison or possibly getting pardoned because now he says there's no way you're getting that deal, but You know? So he needs Luther's help tracking down Peacemaker because, hey, he's got a dimensional portal too. And so this has got Luther's interest and all that. So there you go. And then, of course, I don't know if this qualifies as DC homework you'll need for the next movies, but but anyway, there he was. And okay, you know, and for the flow of the show and everything, it's fine as far as that goes. But oh, geez, because the two new shows that I was following, I guess even now, Peacemaker still edges out Alien Earth because Alien Earth just teased a bunch of stuff and did nothing. Peacemaker's doing something. It's just not anywhere near as good as the first season. And then there's this plot point that you just know. And there is just no patience for that kind of shenanigans anymore. And so I don't know. I mean, it's an old canard about alternate Earths and stuff like that. It's nothing new. And of course, you had to have what is it that would convince Peacemaker to not stay there and live out his life as, you know, basically the Captain America of this alternate Earth. Well, it's an evil Earth, and you throw that in there. It would be interesting if they also threw in that Ultraman and Superwoman and Owlman exist in that world, you know, something like that, you know. But I don't think they're going to do that. So it would make it more DC centric with, you know, multiverse and everything. But I don't know. There's only 2 more episodes. I think they kind of wasted time. Not as badly as Alien Earth did, as it turns out, but still. So I'm going to finish it, of course, but odds are, it could derail the whole thing. It has the potential of doing that. But left to itself, by itself, if it doesn't really go there, then I don't know. But the episode itself was just sort of okay, except for that very disturbing element that I could see coming a mile away. But was it necessary? Not really, because they had this emotional moment between him and Amelia, and she's the real Amelia. He's dating this other Amelia who's so nice and everything. He's going to find out she's a Nazi and all that. So everything else, she was great. But he's in love with the Amelia he knows. And it's obvious she doesn't outright feel the same way. It's there, you know, she does care for him. And she just doesn't like herself very much. And that sort of thing. And that would be more than enough for him to, you know, but he's still kind of too stupid to see it, I guess. You could chalk it up to that. But he would go back for her. And there you go. Good enough. But if this is because they can't just do the storyline. They're going to, you know, put stuff in there, you know, MAGA. And now they obviously, of course, had no idea what recently was going to happen. But they just haven't been paying attention to a great deal. And I don't know. So we'll see. You know, all in all, okay episode. But, you know. So there you go. Peacemaker. Ignorance is Chris.